This video is about the student slept on the bench until a wealthy investor gave him a future. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm, golden hue over the city. In the heart of downtown, a park buzzed with life as children laughed, couples strolled hand in hand, and a gentle breeze rustled through the leaves. But beneath a sprawling oak tree sat a young man, his one backpack serving as his pillow, while he dozed fitfully on a weathered bench. This was Jadon, a 22-year-old college student who once dreamt of a future filled with promise. After the unexpected death of his mother, he found himself grappling with grief, financial struggle, and an unsettling uncertainty. The scholarship that had cushioned his living expenses evaporated when he needed it most, leaving him to fend for himself. Even in sleep, Jadon's brow furrowed. His dreams were haunted by images of his mother's gentle smile and her unwavering belief in his potential. Her words echoed in his mind, "You were destined for greatness, my son. Never let the world dim your spark." But as the days turned into weeks, that spark flickered, dimmed by worry and exhaustion. He awoke to the sound of laughter nearby, blinking against the last remnants of sleep. The park was bustling, a contrast to his solitude. He sat up, stretching his stiff limbs, the chill of the evening air biting at his skin. He glanced at his phone, no messages, no calls. He was utterly alone. "Hey, you're not going to sleep away the day, are you?" A voice broke through the crowd. It was a girl, perhaps his age, with bright hair and warm brown eyes, who had stopped by the bench. Startled, Jadon offered a shy smile. "Just resting. Looks like you've made that bench your home," she teased lightly, her eyes twinkling. "I am Mia, by the way." "Jadon," he replied, his voice barely above a whisper. Mia plopped down, unbothered by his discomfort. "You're not alone, you know. Everyone needs to rest sometimes." He shrugged, unsure of how to respond. It had been a long time since someone showed interest. "Life has been a little rough lately," he admitted, staring at his shoes. "Yeah, life can be a storm sometimes." She nodded, her expression shifting to one of empathy. "But storms pass, right? You know, I've faced my own share of challenges, but I keep pushing forward. You should too." Jadon raised an eyebrow, surprised by her candor. "What have you been through?" Mia took a deep breath. "I had to care for my younger brother after our parents split. It wasn't too easy. I worked 2 jobs while studying, but you know what? It made me resilient. It showed me what I am capable of." Her words sparked something in Jadon. He saw a glimpse of strength in her, a reflection of what he used to believe about himself. "I want to be strong like that," he murmured. "Then be strong," she encouraged, her voice steady. "You have it in you. Don't let circumstances define you." A flicker of hope ignited within him. "I used to think that way, but everything feels so heavy now." "Then lighten the load," Mia suggested. "Find someone to talk to, people who can help. There are resources out there." As they conversed, Jadon learned that Mia was studying business administration, harboring dreams of making a difference in the world. Her passion was contagious, and for the first time in weeks he felt the weight on his heart lessen. They exchanged stories, laughter, and ideas, igniting a bond that felt impossibly strong in just a few moments. As the sun set, casting long shadows across the park, Jadon realized he had been smiling. "Thanks, Mia. I needed this." "Anytime," she replied, standing up. "I'll be around. Let us keep encouraging each other, okay?" "Sure, I do like that," he said, watching her walk away. That night, as he tucked himself in for restless sleep under the stars, Jadon replayed their conversation. Her words of resilience echoed in his mind, seeds of hope taking root in his weary heart. He awoke the next morning with a renewed sense of purpose. The air was crisp, and the city felt alive with possibilities. He decided to venture to the local community center. Mia had mentioned their resources, and he craved connection and guidance. As he approached the building, dread enveloped him, but he pushed through the door anyway. Inside, the atmosphere was vibrant and welcoming. People chatted, laughter echoed through the hall, and a warmth enveloped him. Taking a deep breath, he approached the front desk. "Hi, I am looking for help with, well, everything." The receptionist looked up with a kind smile. "You've come to the right place. We have programs for students, housing assistance, and even mental health support. You're not alone in this." With each passing day, Jadon found new strength. He enrolled in a support group, where he shared his struggles with others who understood his pain. Each session was a gentle reminder that they were all fighting their battles, but they were also finding ways to rise above them. During one meeting, he met a mentor named Daniel, a retired investor with a compassionate spirit. Daniel had faced adversity himself and recognized the resilience in Jadon. "You have potential, kid," he said one afternoon. "With hard work and determination, you can turn your dreams into reality." Those words sparked a fire within Jadon. Daniel encouraged him to pursue a business degree just like Mia. Inspired, Jadon began studying again, not just for grades but to embrace knowledge as his ally. With every late-night study session, he felt himself growing stronger, more capable. As weeks passed, he noticed changes within himself. No longer was he simply surviving, he was learning to thrive. He secured a part-time job at a local coffee shop, and though it was exhausting, it provided him with a sense of purpose and stability. Mia's friendship blossomed too. They started studying together, sharing ideas, notes, and dreams. Their late-night conversations were a tapestry of ambition and laughter, filling the void that had once consumed him. She encouraged him to believe that his past struggles could fuel his future success. One day, while they were studying at the coffee shop, Mia turned to Jadon, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "There's going to be an entrepreneurship competition you should enter." "Me? I've never done anything like that before," he stammered, feeling a familiar wave of doubt. "Exactly, you have fresh ideas and a story that can inspire others. Plus, you've come so far, this could be your moment to shine." Jadon's heart raced at the thought. The idea frightened him, but deep down he felt the flicker of possibility. After days of contemplation and encouragement from Mira and Daniel, he decided to take the plunge. As he prepared for the competition, he poured his heart into crafting a business plan focused on helping struggling students like himself, offering mentorship, support, and a platform for their voices. He wanted to give back, to be a beacon of hope. The day of the competition arrived, and Jadon's nerves were palpable. Surrounded by accomplished individuals and innovators, he felt small and overwhelmed. But as he took the stage, he recalled his mother's words and the strength he had found in his journey. He spoke passionately, sharing not only his business idea but also his personal story of resilience. The audience listened, captivated by his honesty and vulnerability. As he finished, he felt a surge of adrenaline, a sense of release. The applause that followed felt like a warm embrace, filling him with a sense of belonging. Later that evening, he stood among the finalists, surrounded by the warmth of camaraderie. To his amazement, when the winners were announced, his name echoed across the room. He had won. In that moment, tears filled his eyes as realization washed over him. He had not only found a future, but also the courage to embrace possibility. The journey had transformed him, from a young man sleeping on a bench to a driven student ready to change the world. As he looked out into the audience, he spotted Mia beaming, her pride radiating like sunlight. Afterwards, Daniel approached him with a hearty pat on the back. "You did it, Jan, your story is just beginning." With newfound hope, Jadon smiled, knowing he had a purpose, a mission, and the strength to rise against all odds. The world felt vast and open before him, filled with opportunities he never thought possible. In a city that once felt so isolating, he had found community, friendship, and the belief that even in darkness, the human spirit could ignite light. The bench he once called home now seemed like a distant memory, a testament to his journey. And as Jadon stood there, surrounded by those who believed in him, he felt a sense of belonging he had longed for. The future stretched ahead, and he was ready to embrace every moment of it. The weeks that followed Jadon's victory at the entrepreneurship competition were filled with a whirlwind of excitement and possibility. His idea, a mentorship platform for struggling students, had struck a chord with many who understood the weight of academic pressures and life's challenges. With Daniel's guidance, Jadon began laying the groundwork. "You need a business plan that not only outlines your vision but also details your approach," Daniel advised as they sat across from each other in a small cafe, the air rich with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee. "I want it to be a place where students can find support, connect with mentors, and develop skills beyond the classroom," Jadon explained, enthusiasm evident in his voice. "Exactly, but remember, you also need to think about funding, marketing, and the technology that will support your platform. Let us break it down." Together, they mapped out each step, and the more they spoke, the more Jadon felt a surge of clarity. His dreams were no longer just figments of hope, they were becoming tangible goals. Yet, with every triumph, the shadows of self-doubt loomed. Jadon found his mind drifting to the past, to moments when uncertainty had felt insurmountable. One evening while they were brainstorming ideas, he hesitated, his voice trembling. "What if it doesn't work? What if I am just chasing a dream that is too big for me?" Daniel looked at him intently, his expression unwavering. You will face setbacks, Jaden, that is part of the journey, but the most important thing is to learn from each experience. Remember, resilience doesn't mean never falling down, it is about getting back up every time you do. Those words resonated deeply within Jaden. He recalled how far he had come, the late nights spent studying, the friendships he cherished, and the dreams he was finally pursuing. That remembrance was enough to quell his fears, even if just for a moment. As they continued their work, Mia remained a steadfast presence in Jaden's life. They often met at the coffee shop, exchanging ideas and refining the business plan. One afternoon, as they pored over spreadsheets, Mia's face lit up with an idea. What if we organized a lunch event? We could invite local businesses, potential mentors, and students to come together and explore your platform. Jaden's eyes widened. That could be amazing. It would create buzz and community involvement. And we can leverage social media to spread the word, Mia added, her enthusiasm infectious. It'll be a way to show everyone that this is more than just a business, it is a movement. As they fleshed out the details, Jaden felt a renewed sense of purpose. He just won a competition, he had ignited a fire that was drawing others in. But amidst the excitement, another challenge loomed: funding. Jaden knew he needed financial support to bring his vision to life. With Daniel's encouragement, he began reaching out to local investors and organizations dedicated to educational initiatives. He crafted personalized emails, sharing his story, his vision, and what he hoped to achieve with his platform. The rejections came pouring in, often accompanied by polite but impersonal responses. Don't take it personally, Daniel reminded him after yet another disappointing day. Every no brings you closer to a yes, it's a numbers game. But it is hard not to feel defeated, Jaden admitted, frustration creeping into his voice. I am putting myself out there, and it's like no one sees the value in this. Mia, who had joined them for their planning session, chimed in. They will, Jaden. You just need one person to believe in you. Your story is powerful, and rather than seeing rejection, try to view it as redirection. Keep pushing forward. Yeah, and remember, you are not alone in this. We're here for you, Daniel affirmed. Reinvigorated by their unwavering support, Jaden resolved to keep pushing. He refined his pitch, focusing on his own experiences and the impact he wanted to make. His next email would be to a prominent local businesswoman named Clara, known for her philanthropy and interest in educational causes. Days later, as Jaden sat in the park, his fingers nervously tapping on his phone, he finally hit send. He had poured his heart into the message, sharing not just his business idea but also the motivation behind it, his own struggles, and how he intended to turn those hardships into a foundation for others. That evening, as he returned to the park to clear his mind, he felt the weight of uncertainty settle over him. What if she didn't respond? What if this was just another dead end? Hey, there you are. Mia's voice broke through his thoughts, and he looked up to see her approaching. I was just about to text you. How was the meeting with Daniel? It went well, Jaden said, forcing a smile. But I am still waiting to hear back from Clara. You've got this, Jaden. You've come so far, and I truly believe you're going to make an amazing impact. Mia reassured him, her eyes steady and filled with warmth. Just then, his phone buzzed, and Jaden's heart leapt. He quickly checked the screen, an email notification from Clara. He opened it, his breath hitching as he read her words. Dear Jaden, thank you for reaching out and sharing your vision with me. I was truly moved by your story and your passion for helping others. I would love to meet and discuss how we can collaborate to bring your idea to fruition. Best. Tears sprang to Jaden's eyes as he felt a wave of emotion wash over him. She wants to meet, he exclaimed, disbelief and joy intertwining. She believes in this. Mia chuckles, her face glowing with pride. I told you, this is the beginning of something incredible. As they celebrated, Jaden felt a renewed sense of hope. Not only was he gaining momentum with his project, but he was also surrounded by people who believed in him. On the day of the meeting, he walked into Clara's office with a mixture of excitement and nerves. Thank you for coming in, Jaden. Clara greeted him with a warm smile. Your passion is inspiring. I'd love to hear more about your ideas. Jaden shared his vision, detailing how the platform would work and the support it would provide for students in need. Clara listened intently, her eyes never leaving his face. After he finished, she leaned back in her chair, her expression thoughtful. I love your concept. I see a lot of potential, and I believe we can help make this a reality. Let us discuss how I can support you in securing funding and connecting you with the right resources. Jaden felt a rush of exhilaration. For the first time, he could envision his dream not just as a flicker of hope, but as a burgeoning reality. Clara's support would open doors he had only dared to imagine. Weeks turned into months, and with Clara's backing, Jadon's platform began to take shape. They secured funding, developed a website, and reached out to mentors and organizations willing to join the cause. As the launch event approached, Jadon felt a mix of anticipation and anxiety. He knew that this was not just an event, it was the culmination of his journey, a celebration of resilience, hope, and community. On the day of the launch, the venue buzzed with energy. Students, mentors, and local businesses gathered, eager to learn and connect. Jadon stood at the front, heart racing as he prepared to speak. When he finally took the stage, he looked out at the faces in the crowd, some familiar, others new. He took a deep breath, recalling the struggles he had faced and the people who believed in him. "Thank you all for being here today," he began, his voice steady despite the butterflies in his stomach. "This platform is not just a business, it is a dream born from hardship and hope. I stand for you not just as an entrepreneur but as a student who once slept on a bench, lost and alone. I know what it feels like to struggle, to feel invisible, and I want to change that for others." As he shared his story, the room fell silent, captivated by his honesty and vulnerability. Each word was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. After his speech, the event transformed into a vibrant marketplace of ideas. Students connected with mentors, shared laughter, and formed bonds that would last long after the event ended. As night fell, Jadon stood at the edge of the gathering, watching it unfold with a sense of fulfillment. He felt a pair of familiar warm eyes beside him. "Mia, you did it, Jadon. I am so proud of you," she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. "I couldn't have done it without you," he admitted, gratitude swelling in his heart. "Your belief in me pushed me to keep going." "Together, we're recreating something beautiful," she replied, a soft smile gracing her lips. In that moment, Jadon knew he had not only transformed his life but also touched the lives of others. He had turned his struggles into a beacon of hope, proving that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit could shine brightly. As the night continued and laughter filled the air, Jadon felt an overwhelming sense of belonging and purpose. He had come so far from that lonely bench. Weeks turned into months, and with Clara's support, Jadon's platform took on a life of its own. Each day meant new challenges, but also new opportunities. As they secured funding, developed the website, and forged partnerships with mentors, the dream Jadon had once whispered to himself began to feel tangible. One afternoon, as he sat in the community center's conference room with Daniel and Mia, they reviewed the final touches on the website. Jadon leaned back in his chair, letting out a long breath. "I can't believe we're finally here. It feels surreal." Daniel smiled, leaning forward. "This is just the beginning, Jadon. We worked hard to get to this point. But remember, this isn't just about you anymore. It is about all those students who need support." Mia's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. "And every day, you inspire more people than you know. Just look at the feedback we've been getting from early users. It is incredible." Jadon couldn't help but grin at her excitement. "I guess it is just hard to shake off the fear sometimes. I still remember how alone I felt, like I was stuck in a cycle with no way out." Mia reached across the table, gently placing her hand on his. "But look at you now. You've transformed your pain into purpose. Those feelings of isolation are being turned into a supportive community. That is something to be proud of." "Yeah, you're right," he nodded slowly, absorbing her words. "I just want to make sure I am doing this right. I don't want to fail them. I don't want to let anyone down." "Listen," Daniel interjected, "failure is part of the process. That is how we grow. Embrace it. Each setback is an opportunity to learn. Just keep moving forward." The conversation turned to logistics and marketing as they dove into the final preparations. But as the launch day approached, Jadon felt the weight of expectation settle heavily on his shoulders. Each time he caught a glimpse of his reflection in the cafe's windows, he saw uncertainty staring back at him. That night, he lay awake, feeling the familiar gnaw of self-doubt creeping in. "What if people don't show up? What if they don't believe in this as much as I do?" he whispered to the darkness. The echoes of his mother's voice danced through his mind. "You were destined for greatness, my son. Never let the world dim your spark." With a shuddering breath, Jadon tried to shake off the unease. He needed to believe in himself, even on the nights when fear threatened to steal his resolve. Finally, the day of the launch arrived. The venue was a buzzing atrium filled with vibrant colors, and Jadon's heart raced as he stood backstage, watching the crowd begin to gather. "This is it," he said to Mia, who stood beside him, her eyes wide with excitement. "You've worked so hard for this moment. Just be yourself," she encouraged, squeezing his hand. "Remember, it is not just about the platform, it is about the connections you're recreating." "Right," he breathed, feeling the warmth of her support seep into him. I just hope they can see the value in it. When he stepped onto the stage, the lights felt bright, almost blinding. The applause washed over him like a wave, and for a moment he stood frozen, soaking in the energy of the audience. This was his moment to share not just a business idea, but the heart and soul behind it. "Thank you all for being here today," he started, his voice steadying as he settled into the rhythm of speaking. "This isn't just a platform, it is a dream born from hardship and hope, a chance to uplift others who, like me, know what it is like to feel lost." He shared the story of his journey, from sleeping on that bench to standing before them now, fueled by resilience. "I want to create a community where students no longer feel isolated, where mentorship can light the way through their darkest time." As he spoke, he noticed nods of understanding throughout the audience. Faces reflected empathy, and he saw a spark ignite in their eyes. It was a moment of connection, and in that instant, Jaden felt the fear ebb away, replaced by a fierce determination. By the end of his speech, adrenaline coursed through him, and he was met with a chorus of applause that sent chills down his spine. When he stepped down from the stage, the energy in the room shifted into a vibrant marketplace of ideas. Students mingled with potential mentors, laughter filled the air, and for the first time, Jaden felt truly alive in his purpose. Later that evening, he stood at the edge of the gathering, a wide smile plastered across his face as he watched connections flourish. Mia joined him, her eyes sparkling with joy. "You were incredible. I could feel the energy in the room. You've inspired so many people." "Thank you. I think I needed that reminder of why I started all of this," Jaden said, his heart swelling with pride and gratitude. "It is more than just me now. It is about the people we're helping." They shared a laugh, and as the festivities continued, Jaden felt the warmth of community wrapping around him. It wasn't just the success of the launch, it was the camaraderie, the shared experiences, and the understanding that they were all in this together. As they wove through the crowd, Jaden paused when he spotted Clara. She approached with a smile, her eyes bright with approval. "Congratulations, Jaden. The launch was a success, and your passion is truly inspiring. I'd like to discuss further collaborations to maximize your impact." Jaden's heart raced at the thought. "Really? I'd love that?" The possibilities unfurled like petals, and with Clara's guidance, he could reach even more students who needed help. The months that followed were a whirlwind of growth and hard work. Jaden's platform began to establish itself in the community, gaining traction and attracting young people eager for guidance and support. With Clara's connections, they rolled out workshops and mentorship programs, reaching students from diverse backgrounds who faced their own struggles. Yet, as the momentum built, Jaden found himself grappling with an old adversary, self-doubt. Late nights spent poring over numbers and strategies were often accompanied by the nagging voice inside his head, whispering fears of inadequacy. One evening, after a particularly taxing day, he confided in Mia. "Sometimes I feel like I am not enough, like I am just pretending to be someone capable. What if I let everyone down?" Mia listened closely, her expression thoughtful. "Jaden, remember that everyone has doubts, even those who seem confident. It is what you do with those doubts that matters. You've already made such a difference, and you're continually growing. That is what counts." "But what if I stumble? What if I fail?" He pressed, the familiar tightness in his chest returning. "What if you fly?" as she countered gently. "Every challenge is a stepping stone. You're not just creating a platform, you're setting an example of resilience and hope. You've done it before, and you can do it again." It took time, but her words began to settle within him, nurturing the seed of belief that had taken root in the wake of his mother's encouragement. Each day became an exercise in pushing through fear, embracing vulnerability, and leaning into the strength that had carried him this far. As the platform flourished, Jaden began to see tangible changes in the lives of students who sought help. He received countless messages of gratitude, stories of triumph over adversity that mirrored his own. Each testimony fueled his conviction he had created something meaningful. One afternoon, while reviewing feedback from users, a particular message caught his attention. It was from a student named Alex, who had struggled with mental health and felt isolated in his journey. Your platform helped me connect with a mentor who not only guided me academically, but also supported me emotionally. I can't thank you enough for believing in us. Tears filled Jaden's eyes as he realized that this was the true impact of his work. It was no longer just about business metrics or community involvement, it was about changing lives. In that moment of clarity, he understood that he was not just a student who had once slept on a bench. He was a catalyst for change, a symbol of hope for others who faced insurmountable odds. With each passing day, Jaden learned to embrace the beauty of vulnerability and the strength of community. He began sharing his own struggles openly in workshops, connecting with students authentically. "Your voice matters," he would tell them. "You are not alone in this journey." As time went on, Jadon found himself evolving, not just as an entrepreneur, but as a leader and a friend. The path wasn't always easy. There were setbacks, moments of doubt, and times when the pressure threatened to overwhelm him. But with the support of Mia, Daniel, and the community he had built, he learned to navigate the complexities of his newfound role. He discovered that resilience wasn't merely a trait, it was a continuous journey of growth, connection, and shared experience. One evening, as he sat in the park where it all began, he reflected on the journey that had brought him to this moment. The oak tree stood tall, a witness to his transformation. He leaned back against the bench. Under the sprawling branches of the oak tree, the gentle rustle of leaves formed a soft melody, echoing memories of Jadon's past. He leaned back against the bench, recalling the days when this very spot had been his refuge, where he would escape the weight of the world. Now, his heart swelled with gratitude, not just for what he had achieved, but for the community that had formed around him, people who had once been strangers but had become family. "Hey, Earth to Jadon." Mia's voice broke through his reverie, her laughter light and infectious as she plopped down next to him. "You look like you've just returned from a journey through time." Jadon chuckled, shaking off the nostalgia. "Just thinking about the first time I sat on this bench, I never imagined I'd end up here, building a platform for students." "Look how far you've come," she said, nudging him playfully. He transformed from a guy who slept on a bench into a guy who has changing lives. It is like a movie plot. "Yeah, but it has not all been smooth sailing," he admitted, his smile fading just a touch. "The pressure is sometimes overwhelming. I just want to make sure I am doing right by everyone who is counting on me." Mia's expression shifted to one of understanding. "It is okay to feel that way. You are doing something monumental, but remember, it is about the journey, not just the end result. You are making a difference every day." Jadon nodded, appreciating her unwavering support. "It is just that sometimes I fear I want to live up to their expectations. I am still that kid who didn't know what tomorrow would bring." "True," she replied thoughtfully. "But you've learned to embrace your past. You've turned your pain into purpose. Those students need your voice, your story. You never know who you might inspire." "Thanks, Mia," he said softly, looking into her warm brown eyes. "You always know what to say." "It's part of my charm," she joked, grinning as she stood up. "Now, come on, we've got mentees waiting for us at the community center. Let us show them the magic of connection." As they made their way through the park, Jadon felt a sense of purpose envelop him. Together, they headed toward the community center, the heartbeat of their initiative, a place where students gathered to learn, share, and connect. Upon entering, Jadon greeted the students who were already buzzing with excitement. "Hey everyone, ready for another session?" Their enthusiastic cheers filled the room like music, igniting a spark within him. Mia took charge, organizing the groups for the mentorship program. "Today, we were going to dive into the art of storytelling. Every one of you has a unique story to share, and those stories have the power to inspire others." As they broke into smaller groups, Jadon felt an overwhelming sense of pride watching the connections form. He circulated among the students, listening to their stories of struggles, triumphs, and dreams yet to be realized. One student named Alex, who had previously connected with a mentor through the platform, caught Jadon's eye. "Hey, Jadon, can I share something?" he asked, a shy enthusiasm lighting up his face. "I just wanted to tell you how much the platform means to me. Last week, I got to connect with a mentor who really listened. It changed everything." Jadon felt a rush of validation as he nodded. "That is what it is all about, Alex. Your voice matters, and I am so glad you found support." The room erupted in applause as Alex spoke about his experience, and Jadon's heart soared. This was why he fought against doubt and fear, why he poured his heart into this work. Each story shared was a reminder of the resilience that lay within them all. As the session wound down, Jadon gathered the students for a closing circle. "Remember, the power of your story can change lives. You never know who might need to hear it. Embrace who you are, and don't be afraid to share." After the session, Jadon and Mia stepped outside, the golden glow of the setting sun casting long shadows. "How did it feel today?" Mia asked, her curiosity evident. "It felt amazing," Jadon replied, his smile brightening. "Seeing them connect and share their stories, it reminds me why I started all of this." Just then, their phones buzzed simultaneously. Mia glanced at hers and gasped. "Jadon, look, Clara wants to discuss expanding our mentorship program. This could be huge." His heart raced at the thought of further growth. "Wow, that is incredible. We need to prepare for this meeting." The plans for the meeting began to form in Jadon's mind as they walked home, but amidst the excitement, a familiar sense of doubt crept back in. As he sat down to work on their presentation later that night, the nagging voice returned. Asterisk, what if it isn't tea enough? Asterisk. Jadon took a deep breath, shaking his head. No, I want to let fear win. I have to remind myself of everything we've accomplished. He typed out a list of milestones they had achieved together, the success stories, the connections made, and the hope ignited. The next day, as they entered Clara's sleek office filled with natural light and contemporary decor, Jadon felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. Clara welcomed them with a warm smile, her business acumen radiating confidence. Thank you for coming in, you two. I am excited to hear about your ideas, Clara said, gesturing for them to take a seat. Thank you for meeting with us, Jadon replied, his voice steady despite the flutter in his chest. We've been working on expanding our mentorship program to include workshops and resources for students struggling with mental health. Mia chimed in. We believe it is essential to provide a holistic approach to support. It is not just about academics, it is about helping them thrive in every area of life. Clara nodded, her expression thoughtful. I love this approach, but tell me, what challenges are you facing right now? Jadon felt a lump in his throat as he shared their struggles with funding and outreach. We want to reach more students, but it has been tough to secure the necessary resources. Have you considered potential partnerships with local businesses? Clara suggested. Many companies are looking for ways to give back to their communities. Mia and Jadon exchanged hopeful glances. That is a great idea, Mia responded, her enthusiasm palpable. We could leverage those partnerships to create workshops and events that benefit both students and businesses. Clara leaned back, a smile forming. I can help connect you with some local organizations that are invested in education. Let us work together to develop a strategic plan. As Jadon left Clara's office, the weight of doubt felt lighter. Did that just happen? She wants to collaborate, he exclaimed, excitement bubbling to the surface. Absolutely, this is just the beginning, Mia responded, her eyes shining. We're rebuilding something truly special. In the weeks that followed, they collaborated with Clara, reaching out to local businesses and community organizations. Jadon learned to embrace the discomfort of vulnerability, attending networking events and introducing himself to potential partners. During one meeting, he approached a prominent local entrepreneur, his heart racing. Hi, I am Jadon. I run a mentorship platform aimed at supporting students facing challenges. The entrepreneur raised an eyebrow, intrigued. What is your story? Jadon took a deep breath, sharing his experiences. As he spoke, he could see the entrepreneur's interest grow. I'd love to support your initiative. Let us explore how we can collaborate, he said, shaking Jadon's hand firmly. Later that evening, he shared the news with Mia. You won't believe it. They want to partner with us. I knew you had it in you, she cheered. This is incredible. As the mentorship program expanded, Jadon began to feel the tides of change within himself. The more he connected with others, the more he realized how essential it was to lean on community. He embraced the challenges and hit the ground running, organizing workshops that focused on both academic skills and mental well-being. One evening, after a particularly rewarding session, Jadon sat in the park, reflecting on the transformations he had witnessed. At that very moment, he spotted a familiar face, a young woman named Sarah, one of the students who had recently joined the mentorship program. Hey, Jadon, she called out, her smile bright and contagious. I just wanted to thank you. This program has changed my life. I never thought I could actually talk about my struggles. Jadon's heart swelled. You did the hard work, Sarah. You were brave for opening up. She shook her head, her voice earnest. No, really, you inspired me to believe I could share my story. I connected with my mentor, and it has made such a difference. As Sarah walked away, Jadon felt the warmth of hope enveloping him. Here he was, standing in the very space where darkness had once consumed him, now filled with light and possibility. As the seasons changed, Jadon's platform continued to flourish. He embraced the journey with all its ups and downs, leaning into the power of vulnerability and connection. No longer was he a boy sleeping on a bench. He was a beacon of hope for others, a testament to the beauty of resilience.